Hi, I'm Sunny Marchand. I'm the associate head coach for Bowling Green Gymnastics.
The first question is, what type of exercise / physical activity do you do each week?
So currently, I'm training for the Boston Marathon, which is in April. So right now, I'm doing a lot of running. I also incorporate some strength training and just some preventative rehab stuff into my daily routine.
Why did you start exercising?
Well, I started exercising just because I grew up in a very sports family. Me and all my siblings played multiple sports when we were little, and then I had to focus my attention to gymnastics because that's the sport I picked, and it took up most of my time. So growing up, my main focus with exercise was for gymnastics and to kind of help my gymnastics training. And then as I got to college, I ended up being an exercise science major. So my focus kind of really switched to how exercise benefits the everyday life and everyday person. So I think my attitude towards exercise switched when I got to college. Obviously, I wanted it to benefit my collegiate gymnastics career, but I also started focusing on, kind of my life after sport and how exercise could enhance that.
Do you prefer to exercise on your own or with a group?
That is a great question. It depends on what I'm doing. So when I'm running, I do not want to run with anybody else. I prefer while training to run by myself. I find that I'm too competitive and I want to beat the other person if I run with a partner. Which makes it 10 times harder and, throws my whole training off. But if I'm doing, strength training or workout classes or things like that, I do like to be with other people and I kind of feed off that competitive energy and, trying to outdo the other person. So, yeah.
Overall, how does exercise make you feel?
For the most part, it always enhances my day. It puts me in a better mood. It calms me. I feel a sense of achievement after a workout. The only time that I feel like it ever has a negative effect is if I put too much pressure on it. So for example, right now I'm training for the Boston Marathon, and if, I'm having a bad day, with my run or something, or I don't feel like I did the best, then I can get very negative and down on myself. But for the most part, I just try and, take it one day at a time and focus on the positives. And, I always try and tell myself, going out there and doing some form of exercise is better than just sitting on the couch. So, I try and take that attitude to it and not put so much pressure on the actual performance of the exercise.
Do you experience any stress or anxiety in your life?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think everybody does at some point. Coaching, any career brings stress and anxiety, I think. I think over the years I've been able to handle it better, but, growing up in gymnastics, I feel like I was a very anxious kid and anxious gymnast. But I definitely think, I found ways to deal with it. But yeah, there's stresses and anxiety episodes in every day.
Following up to that question, do you think that exercise is something that helps with your anxiety, or do you think that it's something that makes it worse?
I 100% think that exercise helps. I never feel better than after a workout or, something like that. So definitely 100%. It usually calms me down. It, makes me feel accomplished. As I said before, it's I feel like, okay, I tackled that workout today and now I can check all the other boxes off in my day. So I definitely see it as a positive thing.
Going back to when you were a gymnast, do you think that gymnastics or your gymnastics practice helped with your anxiety, or do you think that it caused it sometimes?
I think it enhanced my anxiety for sure. I think growing up too, I had a pretty intense training program. There was a period of time where I didn't go to school. I just did school online. So I was training about 36 hours a week, and I was probably the most anxious and anxiety ridden I'd ever been. I loved my club coach, but she was intense, and at times I was scared of her. So I definitely think, yeah, I had crazy amounts of anxiety, because I didn't know how to handle those stressors in my life. There's points in my life where I would get sick before I even went into practice just because of how anxious I was. So yeah, definitely at that point in my life, gymnastics induced the anxiety. Once I got to college, I think I was doing it more for myself and, having more fun with it. So don't get me wrong, it was like a different kind of pressure when I got to college, but I think I was able to handle it better.
Going back to now, like your current type of exercise, how do you feel when you finish exercise?
Oh, I feel it's the best feeling ever when I finish, like a long run or, a lift session or even like a workout class. It's just a sense of accomplishment. I like trying different exercises too and different workouts. So I think one thing that I've tried to push myself to do to get out of my comfort zone is going to different types of workout classes and doing those types of things, because I feel like a couple years ago I would have never gone to a workout class by myself because I was so scared of, what other people thought or like, am I doing it right? But now I'm able to, like we were in Washington, D.C. for a competition, and I was like, oh, there's this workout class I want to try that is only in cities, and I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go. Nobody wanted to go with me, and I was like, I can do this by myself. So I think it's, putting yourself in different situations and getting out of your comfort zone and, really feeling good about what you did and the workout you did. It just, it's a boost your confidence and, makes you feel great about yourself. So.
What motivates you to still get your exercise in when you're dealing with outside stressors in your life?
I always focus on how much better I'm going to feel after the workout, no matter what's going on in my life. That's kind of my like chance, that workout, whatever it is, that's my chance to kind of like zone out and focus on something other than whatever stressors are going on. So if it's like stress with work or stress with something at home, that is, 45 minutes to an hour and a half that I don't have to think about that, and I can just focus on, doing something that benefits me and only me. So, focusing on that and, then usually too I have a clearer head and then I can attack whatever is going on in the rest of my life. So I definitely think that, that's the mindset I try and take, and it just benefits me so much.
You talked about your experience as a gymnast, but as a college coach, do you feel that exercise or gymnastics has an impact on the anxiety levels of your athletes?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it just helps, when I see my athletes doing other forms of exercise, even with just, they lift twice a week, and getting out of like our gymnastic specific facility and being in a room with other athletes and getting a workout on that they, maybe never did in club. I think that has a huge benefit to it. And also having that separate coach for that specific type of workout. I think it's great to hear other perspectives and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I definitely think it benefits it. On top of that, I know like some of our athletes do other types of workouts, whether it's like hot yoga or lifting at the rec center or whatever it may be. And I think it just enhances, their experience, and clearly it's something they enjoy. So I definitely think it just adds to their gymnastics and what they can do for sure.
I think you touched on this already, but how has your perception on exercise changed from being a college gymnast to now?
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, I used to just work out to, like, oh, how is this going to benefit my gymnastics? Or I'm working out because I was told I have to do an extra session of cardio a week, or, whatever the case may be. But, when I kind of felt lost when I graduated college and was done with my gymnastics career. I was like, okay, what now? I have nobody telling me, like, okay, this is what you have to do. And it was challenging. I was like, okay, my body kind of needs a break to heal and had a lot of injuries. So it was like, okay, I need a break, but I also need to find that balance of I'm feeling accomplished with moving my body and what I'm able to do. So it took months, but I think that's when, probably 3 years after I graduated, I got into marathon running. And that helped me kind of switch into like, okay, this is what I need to do, and this is a training plan I can follow. And not that I'm training year round or anything like that, because I only train when there's a marathon coming up that I want to run. But it gives me like a sense of purpose, and that's really helped me focus in and, find a purpose beyond just, everyday life exercise. So I'm a very competitive person by nature, and I think that finding things that I can compete at in a certain way has helped for sure to find a purpose for exercise, and just beyond, obviously I don't want to, sit on a couch all day and, feel terrible about myself. So yeah.
That's all the questions.
Perfect.
Thank you.